So, happiness. How the subconscious mind is programmed. From the time of conception, data, information, begins downloading into the subconscious mind. This data is formed from specific events, situations, and memories, which are interpretations of the events in the subconscious mind, and are a mixture of fact and perception. You then form a thought or belief about the event, situation, or memory. Your mind then performs a perceptual filter, which is the process of taking in new information and interpreting it according to prior experiences and your individual cultural norms. Those beliefs in turn will elicit emotional responses. Emotions reflect thought action in the moment, which will then drive behaviors or create physical symptoms. Your behavior symptoms then dictate your outcomes and results for your life, unless they are examined and reconciled. Activating event, results model. In this cycle, a situation or activating event triggers a belief or interpretation about that event. This belief then leads to specific feelings or emotions. These feelings can drive certain behaviors, like avoiding tasks or withdrawing from social interactions, ultimately affecting the results or outcomes you experience. For example, missed opportunities or strained relationships. These emotions influence your behavior or symptoms, which in turn produce results or outcomes in your life. For example, if a challenging situation occurs, the activating event, your belief about the situation, for example, "I'm not good enough," leads to feelings of inadequacy or anxiety. Activating event belief emotion behavior equal sign results for your life. Activating event. The teacher tells Susie, age 7, to go to the chalkboard and spell cat. Susie spells cat K-I-T. The teacher says, "Susie, you are so stupid. You should know how to spell cat. Everybody knows how to spell cat." Right then and there, Susie forms a belief about herself, that she is stupid and cannot keep up with the other kids. She is then filled with the emotions of embarrassment and sadness, which are then imprinted in her young subconscious mind as truths about herself. Moving forward in time, Susie is now age 27 and in a job interview in front of her potential boss. She starts feeling the same feelings she felt when she was 7 years old and could not spell cat. She freezes when she is asked a question. Susie was not consciously aware of why she was feeling the way she felt when she was a child filled with embarrassment. The outcome is that she does not get the job and settles for mediocre jobs throughout her life, all because of a negative, disempowering seed that was planted in her subconscious mind when she was 7 years old. Whenever there is an emotionally charged event, situation, or an influential figure, such as a parent or teacher, involved, the soil is fertile ground for planting seeds. The seeds are either negative, limiting or disempowering belief, neutral or positive, empowering belief. The gatekeeper of your thoughts. There is part of the brain mind, amygdala, that mediates between your conscious and subconscious mind. Some prefer to call it the critical facility or analytical mind. It is likened to a gatekeeper, judge, critic, or veil. In the computer analogy, it is likened to antivirus software. This theoretical gatekeeper lies between the conscious and the subconscious mind. It can also be described as the conscious, aware capacity to review and analyze information that you are exposed to and to reject or accept the messages received from the environment. This gatekeeper compares new information or stimuli with previously held beliefs, knowledge, or ideas that are already held, seated, in your subconscious mind, and then determines what is valid or invalid. It is also responsible for your fight, flight, or freeze response to danger. The gatekeeper, or the analytical mind, is not downloaded until somewhere around the ages of 7 and 9. If a child still believes in Santa Claus, the gatekeeper may not be developed. Therefore, their critical and analytical thinking is limited. Hence, Santa literally comes down the chimney in the mind of the child. The subconscious mind develops much earlier than the conscious mind. Its primary role or main job is to learn as much as possible, as fast as possible, to ensure survival. When messages from the environment, after being processed by the conscious mind, hit the gatekeeper, it then decides if an imprint or belief exists in the subconscious that matches the message. If so, the message will be accepted into the subconscious mind. If the belief does not match, the message will be rejected. This allows for sifting through enormous amounts of information at lightning speed, accepting valid information as you know it to be true, and throwing away or deleting messages that are deemed invalid. Acorn. Young children do not have a gatekeeper. Their minds are always open and primed for programming. They do not yet have the capability to analyze and discern information. Children take things literally, so it is vital to make sure the information that is planted or seeded in the minds of children is empowering. Factors that facilitate bypassing the critical factor or gatekeeper of the mind. Whenever these factors are in play, The subconscious mind is fertile soil for planting empowering or disempowering seeds. 1. Influential figures. Everyone in a position of influence has the potential to become programmers of your subconscious mind. Your parents were your primary programmers. They were your first and the most prominent imprinters. At birth, they started planting seeds that were either positive, empowering, neutral, or negative, limiting beliefs or disempowering. You started forming your beliefs about how the world operates mainly as viewed through their lenses and their filters. You took on their worldviews, cultural norms, and biases, which were most likely passed down from generation to generation. Yale University conducted an experiment, 1967, to evaluate how much pain an ordinary citizen would inflict on another person, simply because he or she was ordered to do so by an experimental scientist, an authority figure. It was called the Milgram Experiment, 1974, and was a perfect example of how much power authority figures have in influencing a person. Researchers wanted to investigate whether the Germans were particularly obedient to authority figures, as this was a common explanation for the Nazi horrors in World War II. The study found that people would comply, without hesitation, when directed to inflict pain on someone just because they were told to do so by an authority figure, which astounded and dismayed the researchers. This also explains how Hitler and the Nazis got people to perform horrendous atrocities. It appears when someone else is taking responsibility for ordering an act, it is easier for the perpetrator to inflict pain, which also has its own psychological implications. Jonathan Haidt, 2013, stated, "The echo chamber binds and blinds. People get blinded to immoral effects of a wrong decision because they are blinded to an authority figure that controls or otherwise biases interpretation of environment." This study has a wide array of implications. The main implication is that a person in a position of authority, or who has some form of influence, may be a potential gardener who plants positive, empowering, neutral, or negative, limiting beliefs or disempowering seeds in the subconscious mind. Parents, teachers, bosses, managers, athletes/coaches/celebrities, politicians, global and local influencers, doctors, medical professionals, clergy, nuns, psychologists, counselors, the media, including all social media, play significant roles in subconscious programming. From an evolutionary or survival standpoint, which is the key role of the subconscious, one is more likely to accept and go along with authority/influential figures because there is a preconceived perception that they have more knowledge and expertise, which in turn translates to the subconscious mind that the odds are better for survival. Peers, friends, siblings, coworkers, church members, lovers, etc., are also big imprinters or gardeners in the subconscious mind. From an evolutionary standpoint, going back to the caveman days, being part of a couple or a community, tribe, contributed to garnering more strength in numbers. Strength in numbers equated to increased chances of survival. Just like other influential figures in your life, peers may plant positive or negative, limiting belief seeds in your mind. An example of one's peers influencing the subconscious mind is teenagers start cigarette smoking when encouraged to do so by their peers. Given the conscious or subconscious need to fit in and be a part of the tribe, so he feels the pressure to take the first puff. Example: a smoker blames his cigarette addiction on idolizing a movie star. At the tender age of 13, he watched a film in which Humphrey Bogart stopped to light up while standing under a streetlight. On the way out of the theater, he bought a pack of unfiltered Lucky Strikes. From the subconscious perspective, this was a good thing, in that it was meeting the need to look as suave as the actor, so he would be cool enough to fit in and be a part of the tribe, which may offer a perceived better chance of survival. Keep in mind the subconscious is not the logical part of the brain. In adulthood, lovers are big imprinters on the subconscious mind. What is said and portrayed in an emotionally bonded state can also create positive and/or negative core beliefs. If you are rejected or betrayed by your lover, the feelings of rejection might be interpreted by your subconscious mind as danger, because you may equate no longer being part of the couple, which may then lower your chances of survival or ability to procreate. As in life, when divorce or separations occur, significant portions of tangential relationships are often severed, in addition to the primary one, thus leaving the single one outside of the tribe and tasked with trying to survive alone. Acorn: the subconscious is not logical, obeys commands, and is literal. 2. Heightened emotions. The critical factor or gatekeeper is off-duty when emotions are heightened. Whenever emotions are elevated, either high or low, the subconscious is fertile ground for planting seeds, positive or negative, limiting beliefs. Words and actions that are experienced or witnessed while in a highly charged emotional state will make an imprint on the subconscious mind. An excellent example of how a highly charged emotional environment can imprint on the subconscious mind is the 9/11 tragedy. Most people can share every detail about certain parts of that day. It left a huge imprint on the subconscious minds of individuals and the collective consciousness, instilling fear, grief, and loss of security in the minds of people who experienced or witnessed this tragedy. When people are in a highly charged argument or disagreement, the words and actions can leave deep-rooted messages in the subconscious mind. When a woman is called a stupid bitch, or a child is bullied and called names, he will often internalize what is being said and make that part of her or his identity. Words spoken in a highly charged, emotional setting may have long-term detrimental effects on people, especially on children, as the subconscious does not discern fact from fiction. On the flip side, positive high emotions are also imprinted on the subconscious mind. When good things are happening or a person is in a happy, grateful state of mind, the subconscious will cultivate those positive, empowering seeds. Most people can recall every detail of their first kiss, their wedding day, or the birth of their children. Strong emotions leave imprints which program the subconscious mind. Repetition and habituation. Repetition is another way the subconscious mind is programmed. The rule is, thoughts, neurons that fire together are wired together. In other words, creating neural pathways that are like a smooth, paved highway. The more you think or focus on something, the easier the pathway is to that thought. Not unlike building up muscles or walking the same path. That little voice in your head that keeps saying you are stupid or dumb needs to be reconciled with. Because the more a thought or idea is exposed to your mind, the more ingrained it will become in your subconscious mind. Conversely, the more you focus and think about what you do want, the more ingrained those ideas will be in your mind. Repetition is highly effective in programming new subconscious beliefs. Positive affirmations, framed in the right way, more on that later, can facilitate the programming and reprogramming of your mind. 1. Altered state of mind. The subconscious is highly programmable when it is in a non-ordinary, altered state of mind. An altered state of mind is when your brainwave patterns are in either alpha or theta states, between 4-14 Hawes cycles per minute. Prayer and meditation are wonderful ways to go into an altered state of mind, as are yoga, tai chi, neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and breathwork, etc. Some people report that high-intensity exercise also facilitates an altered state of mind. They often refer to such practices, that is, running, dancing, weightlifting, martial arts, etc., as meditation in motion. Certain pharmaceutical drugs and plants create an altered state of mind or consciousness. Hypnosis is also a proven approach. Hypnosis may be one of the most effective tools to go into an alpha-theta brainwave pattern to help program or reprogram your mind. Hypnosis is a natural yet altered state of mind wherein the mind is relaxed and attention is focused. When this happens, the critical faculty, the gatekeeper, is down or off duty, and you are in a heightened state of susceptibility or suggestibility. Note: parents need to be acutely aware that watching movies, television, or playing video games can put someone in an altered, hypnotic state of mind. Therefore, it is especially important to evaluate and monitor what is being downloaded or programmed, seeded, in the minds of their children. Acorn. The subconscious mind is fertile and primed for programming, seeding, when the gatekeeper or guard is down or off duty. This happens when one is exposed to influential figures, repetition, high emotion, or when the mind is in an altered state. Next, learn the 18 rules of the subconscious. Enjoy the journey of sowing love and happiness.